Hello, welcome everyone to the webinar called Map Templates, Creating Extent Templates. My name is Emilio Spinola. I'm a training and support scientist based on the Perth office. Please note this webinar will be recorded and it will be uploaded into our website in the coming days. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them at the end of the webinar. This is the third webinar of the map template series. The first two webinars were broadcasted in the previous weeks and they are already uploaded into our website, so I will encourage you to watch them at your convenience. The next two webinars will be broadcasted in the following weeks, so I will recommend you to register for those webinars as well to have a full picture of the map templates functionality. So map extents. When we talk about extents in Petrosys, we talk about the spatial area of interest that is represented on a map. Along with the style templates, it constitutes this new concept of map templates. The map templates replaces the old map sheets. To understand the upgrade process, I will encourage you to watch the first webinar of the series where this is explained in detail. Extents are independent to the style, so you may have a series of extent templates, and in another hand, you may have another series of style templates that you can combine them at your convenience. This will make more sense when we get to the demo side of the webinar. Extents are defined by the following properties: the type of extent, which could be or either fixed or dynamic, the CRS in which the data is projected to, of course, the minimum and maximum coordinates for the top and bottom left and right sides of the map, and it may have an optional rotational angle which you can apply into the extent. So the next thing to discuss is the map extent template. So you can have the extent, what we already discussed, and then you can save those extent as a templates. These extents can be reused in a later time, so you may have a series of extent templates that the users can pick at any given time. These extent templates can be saved at 3 different levels: user, project, and site level. If it is saved at site level, then these extent templates will be available to all of the users at any given time. So a good approach could be that you may have 1 or 2 people per site or per company creating those extent templates. Then they save them at site level. So so as soon as they save them at site level, then it means that it will be available to all of the users. So particular users, regular users, don't need to be creating those extents because 1 or 2 people are in charge of doing that. So why did we introduce the concept of map extents? Because in conjunction with style templates, users can easily apply styles in a consistent manner to different areas of interest. So you have the final map as you can see in the graphic, and then that map it's split into extent, style, and page size and scaling, so you can combine different extent templates with different style templates, and in that way you make the process of map creation significantly more efficient because you are saving a lot of time by just setting your map by just selecting an extent template and a style template. So to make this concept easier to understand, I have this map on my left which have a particular style and a specific extent, right? By just changing the extent into the same map, I will achieve a consistent style in those maps because at any given extent, doesn't matter if it is a regional extent or if it is a local extent or if it is a dynamic extent which is fixed to the data that you have in your display dataset, or if it is another extent with a different CRS, no matter what extent I have, because now the style and templates are independent, then it means that I will preserve the same styling through my whole series of maps by only changing the extent. So it makes things much easier because the style is preserved at any given time, but you are applying the same style to different extents that you have already be saved into your set of extent templates. So let's go to the demo where all of this will make much more sense. Okay, so let's launch the mapping application and let's open a map that I previously prepared for the webinar. So the first thing to notice in our new version is we have now these options at the bottom right, one for the style template, one for the extend templates, and one that switches from dynamic to fixed mode. So if we click in the extend selector, it takes us to the map extend selector so we can switch easily any extend by selecting any of the templates already created. But since the idea is to create a new extent, let's cancel this one. And what we'll do first is to switch to dynamic mode by clicking this icon in the bottom right. So as soon as we click here, the extent is fixed to all the data display in my display list. So as you can see, the location map has been automatically updated. And something that is important to mention is that the style has been preserved. So no matter that I change the extent, the style represents the same styling. So at this stage, I want to introduce you the new tools that we have in the new version. So if you can see, for example, we have a series of icons related to the map extents. The first one that I will use is the that allows me to repeat the extent in an interactive way. So if I click here, and then if I zoom in any area, what it does is automatically select that area as my new extent. And also important to notice that the style is being preserved all the time. So if I repeat this operation one more time, for example, you see that the extent is automatically selected based on that area that I selected, but the style is always preserved in the same way. Another tool that I would like to introduce is the panning that selects a new extent. So if you click in this icon here, and if you start to scroll through your map, you can see how the extent is automatically being repeated by this panning. So this is a very useful tool if we want to at any time just pan through our map to set a new extent. Another option that we have is to increase the map area by 10% and by 100%. So if we click, for example, the 10% one, what it does is it increases the extent of the map in a 10% basis. If we select the 100% option, it will increase the area in 100%. So those are other two good features that we have created in order to pick extent interactively. Another way to select the extent is if we go back to, for example, our initial dynamic extent. If we zoom as we will normally zoom in our work in our regular basis, and if we pan in the same way that we always do, and if we pick as soon that we are happy with, in order that that becomes our new extent. If we click in this icon here which is called set current zoom as the map extent. As soon as I hit that, it takes that zoom and it will create a new extent with that zoom. So that is another option that we have to create extents. Let's go back to my dynamic one again, and let's pick one particular area that it will be my final extent. Let's say that I want to focus on this area here around this wealth. So let's say that this is the extent that I want to save as my extent template. So what I do is at this stage I go to my first icon, which is edit map extent, and it will take me to the extent tab in the edit map template panel. So at this stage we can see that the extent is not only the coordinates but also the CRS and the type of extent. Notice that we could also set the extent manually, and for that we have two options: the bounding box or the centered size. If we if we have the case that we need to enter the extent manually. So if we are happy with the extent that we have at this stage, we can save it as an extent template, and we can do it from here. If we click save as extent template, and here is where you have the three areas where you can save the extent as I was explaining in the presentation. You can save it at a project level, site level, or user level. As I was saying earlier, if you save it as a site level, anyone in the company will have access to this particular extent. So let's call it, for example, webinar here, and let's put a description as webinar. And if I click OK, and then I click OK, so now what I've done is save this extent as a template, and if I go to my extent selector, now I should have it here in my list of extent templates. So it will be the same procedure. You pick an extent, then you save it as an extent template, and then it will be available from the map extent selector. Just to finish, I just want to show you that these tools that you have in this new toolbar, you also can access them from the menu, from the map template menu, extend, and you see the same tools here. And finally, I would like to point you to the template manager, where you can manage all those extend templates, but you could also import templates from the old map sheets, and after importing them into the new format, you will have them available to use them at any time. So going back to the presentation, just to wrap it up. So if you want to know more about how to create map templates, I recommend you to log into the support portal, into the Learn section, and there is a PDF called How to Use Map Templates, which I recommend you to have a look. Also, there are trainings courses that are cover these topics. The one in particular that I would recommend is the one titled Making Better Maps. It's for the beginners and intermediate section, and that explains in detail how to create map templates. So if you're interested, go into our website and register for this training. If you have any questions, please now feel free to ask them, and I'll do my best to answer them.